Hey everybody, it is Kendell Lenice and welcome to Reviews and News. Normally I don't do this live, but I'm doing it live today. It's a little dark out there, so please excuse it. I think it's an overcast, so hopefully you can see me well. All right, so as always, don't forget to subscribe below. And if you're interested in the Real Housewives of Potomac, you have come to the right place. This is the review. Go back and look at the first 4 episodes of season 6. As always, I have my notes and I've been asked for season 6, episode 5. Here it is. Again, don't forget to subscribe. All right. Y'all know Real Housewives of Potomac is my favorite one. Why? Because I know the area and I know what's going down around town. So we start off this episode with Ashley's new baby, Dylan. So we got Dean and Dylan, and he's a little cutie. He's really, really cute. So Ashley, y'all got 2 children. Remember, she didn't have any. So then we going over to Mia and Gordon. They're in their family picnic, and it looked like Federal Hill in Baltimore. So if you think it's Federal Hill like I think it's Federal Hill, comment below. So they're at their family picnic outside with all of the children, and G, call me G, starts talking to Mia about the children, and it comes up again. Remember last week when he said Joshua wants to spend time with his mom, and she's always busy being a boss bee. She's always busy, and she felt that mommy guilt, and she addresses her son like, do you think mommy works a lot? And so I think she's going to spend obviously more time with her son. And a lot of people need someone to point that out. And G did that. I think he's a good husband to Mia. Mia addresses the issue again of working too much and says that she's going to try to find that balance. And they also sit there and talk about the relationship Mia has with a non-relationship that Mia has with her mom, and her mom being a drug addict, and Mia being in foster care. And it was sad when Mia said that the mother only lived 20 minutes away and she hasn't seen her or the grandchildren. She really wants to reach out, and if they don't have a relationship. So I think that it's fine. It's a time to really do that. Life is precious. Life is short, especially with this pandemic out here. You know, maybe she can try to attempt to have the relationship. I'm sure she's done it a million times, but where you're dealing with a drug addict or a former drug addict, sometimes that's very complicated. And G brought up a good point. He said, maybe she has a problem with you because you look so much or you're so much like your father. And that could be a point. And a lot of mothers often do that. If their child looks like the father, they might take out the anger that they have for the father out on them. And sometimes that's what really creates the issue or the problem. And then who do we go to? Candace. So Candace is talking about taking a trip to Williamsburg, and she wants to invite all of the ladies, except Ashley, of course, to Williamsburg. And Chris is talking about his manager thing and how he's managing her career, and talks about the different things that they need to discuss within that marriage. And then I love that Chris was like, what about Ashley? And Candace was like, what about her? He was like, I think you should invite her. But did she invite her? We'll find out in a moment. Then it goes to Ashley and Giselle. So Giselle loves her some Ashley, little Miss Ashley, as she calls her. She goes over to Ashley's condo, Ashley and Michael's condo, to see the new baby. And she walks right past the baby like, oh, is that the baby? And she says, he don't look like how Dean looked. And I think she wanted to say, he don't look how Michael looked. Because remember when Dean came out, he looked just like Michael. But the new baby Dylan looks different. So, and then Dean walks out. Did y'all see how Dean walked out and like, who's that? Who's in my house? He came in with the nanny. And they were just talking about having babies close together because baby Dean is 19 months and she just had a new baby. So that's only a year and a half difference. And Ashley discovered that Giselle had her children 18 months apart as well, and she didn't understand that, or she didn't realize that, I should say. So she asked Giselle, so how are your children, how was Grace when Angel and Adora was born? Like, when did they finally settle? She was like pretty much like they still ain't gotten used to that, or Grace still ain't got used to having younger siblings, even in their 18 months apart. And I didn't realize that Giselle's children were only 18 months apart between Grace and Angel and Adore. I didn't realize they were so close in age. Even though the twins are taller and Grace is, the little one, she's the big sister, but I thought she at least had them by 2 years or so. And from last week, Grace girl, I hope you got that license, sugar. All right, so then we go on to, well, let's stay with Ashley and Giselle for a moment. Giselle tries to exit when Dylan does a little poopy poop in his pants, and then they, laugh about that, call the nanny to change that. I didn't have a nanny to call to change my baby's diapers. I had to do it when it was running all up their back and all that down their thighs. I had to do that. So the nanny came and brought back out a fresh baby. So they talked about the trip that Candace wanted to have for the girls in Williamsburg. And they like, Williamsburg, like Williamsburg, Virginia, like what's there? But of course they were with it because on the Housewives, they got to take a trip, and it is COVID. Go up the street to Virginia. I ain't mad at them. So Giselle invited Ashley to the hold down, showdown party, not Candace. So we'll find out when Candace, what Candace had to say later. We'll talk about that in a moment. All right, in Williamsburg. So of course I've been to Williamsburg, and when they did that, when they talked about Williamsburg, I was like, dang, I ain't been to Williamsburg in a long time. And I was thinking about like what Giselle said, like what's there to do in Williamsburg? And I know Busch Gardens is in Williamsburg. I graduated from high school, y'all, in 1989. And to some of y'all, that might be ages ago. But to me, it was only yesterday. And for our senior class trip, we had 2 buses coming from New Jersey. We were going to Williamsburg. That was our destination. So we first hit the capital, DC. We went to the zoo. We went sightseeing. And then we moseyed on down to Williamsburg and went to Busch Gardens and stayed in Williamsburg, old country, old town Williamsburg. And it rained the entire time. And we had a good time. It was my senior class trip. So I don't think I've been there since. I didn't even think about it. Maybe I'll go to Busch Gardens. We started talking about it after the show. Who knows? I might have to take a trip, especially when they got to that home. I was like, okay, I've never seen this part of Williamsburg, but we'll talk about that when we get to that. So then we go to Wendy and Eddie. And Wendy is at home, the kids running around. Eddie is there, and she's trying to record a lecture because y'all know she still is a professor. So she's trying to record a lecture for virtual school, but then you got the kids, you got the husband. So she's trying to find that balance, and she's trying to do that. And then Wendy starts, which I totally related to Wendy in this moment, because she comes out, she's like, I got my shoulder off. And y'all seen some of my other videos. I like a good hang off the shoulder shirt. That's like one of my favorites. And hoops, that's one of my favorites. And Wendy's like, I did my lecture just like this with my braids, my hoops, and my shoulder off. And she said, but it was different because normally they're expecting me to be a certain way and act a certain way and wear a certain thing as a professor. And I understood what she was saying, because so many stipulations are put on you, especially women, how you should dress, how you should show up, what you should wear for this and that. And she felt like she had to choose who she wanted to be instead of just being her. And I understand that, because as a life coach and a speaker, I remember years ago when I first started, I thought I had to wear a suit. I thought I had to dress a certain way. I couldn't wear hoops. I couldn't be me. I had to wear little studs. But I started just being me. If I want to wear name earrings, if I want to wear leather pants, if I want to wear jeans, if I want to wear a nice frilly dress, if I want to wear a suit, I can still do that. And hopefully the message still comes across. But I get that. So I felt her in that moment. And she felt like she had to pretend by wearing certain things that she didn't want. And I felt her on that. I get that. But then we go to Eddie asking Wendy about her business plan and if her candle line is registered and is the name registered, did she make sure that no one else had it? And she's like, huh, what? So I saw on Twitter, you know, when the show came on and people were like, well, you got all these degrees, but you didn't know that you had to register a business or a business plan. And she was like, my husband has the MBA. I have a degree in political science. I don't know about that. And people were coming for her because she's educated. She should have known. Now, I agree with some of the people, like you should have known at least to make sure nobody had your name, even if you didn't do a business plan or anything else, at least, you know, check the name and all that. So Eddie was coming for her. She said her husband keeps it real, keeps it raw and straight with her, and he don't bite his tongue. And clearly he did. And that balance seems to work for them. So now we are on to Giselle and Robin and Mia. They're meeting up. So y'all can say what y'all want to, but this season, Giselle is coming with the looks. Y'all wanted to clown her on her clothes. She ain't got no style. Karen comes for Giselle, but she's stepping it up. So she's listening to someone, or she has a stylist that said, you know what, let me fix you up, baby girl. Let me help you out. Or she's just changing up her style. Either way, she is coming with the looks. Y'all can make fun of her and her clothes if you want to, but she's coming. So Giselle and Robin, they're having their date with Mia. So Giselle looks nice. Her outfit is nice. Robin comes in. She has her outfit on. And then Mia, y'all, she walks in with a gown and a faux fur, looking good. And at first I was like, is she going somewhere? Where's she coming from? And they asked her that too. And she came. So then, of course, they're saying, okay, well, is that the same evening gown that she wore when she worked at the strip club when she met G? You know, they got to be shady. Even when they like you, they still got to be shady on that show. So they want to sit there, and the whole objective was to get to know Mia better. So of course, Mia and Mia's fashion, she's very transparent and honest, authentic about who she is and where she comes from. She begins to talk about her childhood to Robin and Giselle, talking about foster care and the abuse that she's experienced and how she was taken out of her home. So I think that gave Robin and Giselle another level of respect for her. And, you know, Giselle was like, she a bad bee, you know, for her to be going through all of that and then make it out of that. She's a bad girl. So I think that they understood her more. And they were like, we like this Mia. We don't like the Mia that when you're with the group, we like this Mia. Because Mia was very vulnerable. And even in the group, she was vulnerable and honest. But they said they like that Mia better. So hopefully they'll still be able to be friends. They'll still be able to be friendly when Karen is there and the other girls are there. Hopefully they can keep that. Because I don't like to see women go back and forth over silly stuff, but this is the Housewives, and unfortunately that brings the ratings. Then they go on over to Karen. Then they go on over, she's talking to her cousin David, trying to get everything situated for what they got going on. And then Robin's son, he got little braids now. He's helping Robin fulfill them orders for Embellish. So that's right, put the kids to work, have them work. And then Wendy, they flashed to Wendy and she's packing her bathing suit. Y'all already know with that BBL, you already know that bathing suit was going to be dental floss like. And then we go on to Miss Candy Pants, Candace. She got the big old party bus pull up. So when that first came around the corner, I was like, okay, we were all watching it, my daughters and I, because you know I watched this with my two daughters who are in their 20s. And we were like, dang, that's a nice bus. So that comes around. I wouldn't mind going to Williamsburg in that. Like, I want to already take a tour, an RV tour, and I just want to get in the bus, the RV, and just roll out. That's what I want to do. Anyway, so of course that was appealing to me when I saw that. So the party bus looks different inside. It got the pole, it got all the little velvet and the drinks and everything popping. So y'all know who showed up first. Is at Candace's house, Giselle. Giselle is always on time or early. So she must subscribe to what my grandfather used to say. If you're on time, you're late, meaning that you better get there early. Giselle was the first one there. And then Wendy shows up in her little outfit. and she had on Twitter that she got it from Zara. So it looked like all one set. So of course they like, Giselle's like, she had to come with a sides out, you know, making fun. And then Robin shows up, and then Karen shows up. And that's so awkward with Karen and Giselle. You know, I'm 50 years old, and then you got these older women, they grilling each other and they looking at each other, mean mugging each other. I think they really need to have a conversation. And I know they've tried a million times and trust is broken on both sides. So I'm not sure if they could ever be friends, but at least hopefully they're going to be cordial and even try. But then the faces that they're showing, it's already that energy and that body language that looks like something's about to pop off. And I think that we're going to see that in the next episode or episodes to come. We're going to see them get down with it. Giselle tried to say, does somebody want to apologize in this group? So it's already stirred. The pot is already being stirred. But Wendy is coming with the new looks and everybody is talking about it. But then Wendy got on Twitter and showed the pictures and like, I was already dressing like this. So why y'all body shaming me now? Just because my body wasn't hot like it is now, I was still wearing revealing things, but people, I guess, didn't realize or didn't really pay attention, or it wasn't really polarized like it is now. But they're on the bus. There's a strip pole on the bus. So all the women, you know, when all women are around, there's a pole on the bus, somebody gonna try their hand. They're gonna have a contest. The pole ain't there for nothing. So everybody gets ready to do it. Giselle can't do it. Like nobody can really do it except Mia. So they like, girl, you were a stripper before. She's like, no, I wasn't. But I got friends who are strippers and they showed me something, but I never did it for money. And if she did, that's her business. But she's saying she didn't. She said she was a walk around or a dancer, or she wore an evening gown. If that's what she said, and I ain't never been there, I guess that's what's up, right? So then they get to this house. That bus comes around, and that house was gorgeous. Did y'all see that house? That house was gorgeous. I was like Giselle, Williamsburg is looking like that. Like that's what we're doing in Williamsburg. Then infinity pool, all of those rooms. So of course they didn't do like some like Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all know they're famous for going to a place and fighting and having contests and trivia games over the rooms. So that wasn't like that here. You can't just assign the houses. One for the few got the cottage. Some people stayed in the main house. It wasn't really a lot of drama surrounding that, other than when Robin tried to put Mia out of her room. It really wasn't. So they're grown in that aspect. But then they get to the table, and that's when Giselle's like, does somebody need to apologize? So just them, the whole mean mugging. It's so much animosity there and so much history, but you only have people like that, right? If they have a relationship, if they had a relationship and a real friendship. That's how you can really hurt someone and know, if you've hurt someone, if they respond in that manner. If they didn't really mean something to one another, then they wouldn't be so hurt and mean mugging. They would have been able to let it go. If they were nobodies to each other, they would have been able to let that go, because the people that love you the most are the ones where it penetrates a lot more. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's why they're so hurt. And if Karen says one more time that Giselle wished death on Ray, that was 4 years ago. She didn't. She was trying to be funny. Ray was coming for Giselle. Giselle responded. How come nobody's talking about how Ray was coming for Giselle? And she just was saying, I'll look this way she wasn't wishing death on him. So they need to stop saying that. But I guess that's the storyline. People get something and they hold on to it, and they be mad about something that didn't even happen. And that's what's happening. So they make it to Williamsburg, and we don't see everything. We just see that dinner scene, and then they show next week's episode, and they're going to really get into the Juan situation and what Giselle says to Robin about what Juan thinks about her. And Robin really talks about her being depressed. And we talked about this, in a couple of episodes of this review about Robin feeling depressed and going through what she's going through and not being able to get up, and she has stuff to do, but she doesn't have the desire to do it. That's depression. So I would love for her to talk more about that, and hopefully somebody brings that up, or even she brings it up as it goes on. Hopefully that is, the case. So then we have Ashley. She hasn't come yet. So Ashley's just going to only stay for one day. So she's going to come. So we don't even know what else is going to happen in Williamsburg. So this wasn't a super, super exciting episode. It was some good moments, but this wasn't a juicy, juicy one. So that's why I decided to do this one live. And let me know if you like the live versions better than the recording with my little intro, reviews and news. Or, I might do it live. I might do it recorded and uploaded. But let me know which ones you like the best, and I'll give those to you. But this wasn't too exciting. But I think next week is where we're going to see some action and see some meat in this in episode 6. So that'll be season 6, episode 6. So it got to be something going on there. But thank you so much for watching Reviews and News. This is RHOP, the Real Housewives of Potomac review, episode 6, season 6. Don't forget to subscribe below. And if you missed my reviews for episodes 1 through 5, catch up right here. Thank you so much for watching. God bless y'all. Peace.